You'll hear some music in a minute.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of Altadena Talks. This is episode 281. My name is Brian Marcus, and I will speak at you later.
I'm Jamal Smith. You guys have a good one.
Thank you, Brian and Jamal. Good morning, everyone. I am Toni, and I am super excited to have and be hosting today Camille from Action Altadena. You know, Camille Hodge is always in the background, and I won't say in the background. Camille always watches and makes sure she engages with us. So that's much better, much more accurate way of saying it. And there's a few times it's been like Action Altadena, and I'm like, hey, come on, what you doing? And so last week, I literally on the spot was like, when are you coming on the show? And I said, email me, and Camille came on right away. So thank you, Camille.
No problem.
It's a pleasure to have you as a Altadenian join us and hear exactly what you are doing, because all of us have taken different avenues to help our town that we so dearly love. And so I want to hear from you. I want you to kind of start off by just saying who you are. Tell about, I know some of your background in Altadena. It's funny because even I knew a little bit, but when you sent the info last week, I was like, oh, nice. And then on the show, I was like, did nobody ask you to send all this stuff? But it was great because I was like, oh, this is so exciting to really get to know, because so much of what we do is virtual. And we may see each other in passing at an event, as many Altadenians have done, but to like see someone, get them on, hear about them, how long they've been here, and really represent, which I love because, you know, you've heard our story 280 something times probably, right? We're on episode 281 or whatever, but at least 200 times about how this started, that, you know, how long we've been in Altadena, all of that. Sorry, my hand is just itching like crazy. So I guess now what the old folks say, when your palm itches, money is coming.
That's what I was just about to say. I said, you're going to get some money soon.
Right. Thank you, God. I mean, it is itching like crazy. And that's probably why you see me. I'm over here doing this. It's so weird. But anyway, you know, and you've heard about us, but I love hearing stories. And that's why, you know, LA Fire Justice asked us to talk about what they were doing and bring on Timmy, who is the co-curator of that event that they just recently had. But it's so neat to hear about other Altadenians and their story and the longevity, right, that is in Altadena. And then it's funny in a way to see a lot of the newer Altadenians meet us and try to tell us something about Altadena. Because let me tell you something, Camille, I be ready. I be going in on them. Like, what? I'm like, do you remember when this was here? Do you remember this? Do you? Oh, well, no. And I'm like, well, how long you been in Altadena?
Right.
They get me 30 years. I go, oh, welcome to Altadena. Or 12
That's
years or whatever.
awesome.
I always tell people, welcome, glad you're here, right? But don't come trying to act like you own Altadena and it needs to be this, that, the other, because you're a newbie. You know, when you talk about people that have been here 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years of a town that's 20 years old or whatever, or 2 years or 15 years, and they feel entitled like, well, and I'm like, oh, okay. And so when I met you the first time and then heard more of your story, I was like, oh yeah. So I'm super glad you're here today. And I want you to tell us a little bit about you, or as much as you want about you and about Action Altadena.
For sure. Thank you for having me on. Again, my name is Camille Hodge. Born and raised, I've been Altadena my whole life. My parents bought the house I was raised in 1982. A year later, had me. Attended all the schools. I won't go down the list.
You were born in 83?
Yeah.
That's when I graduated from Mirror, girl. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So, but you're going to realize there's a lot of us.
I know.
I'm proud of our class, man. We're out here doing a lot of things. But yeah, I went to both Noyes Elementaries when it was Noyes.
Right.
Went to Altadena, then went to Elliott. Hopefully they can pull it together. That's, Elliott, and then went to graduated from John Muir, Mustangs.
Yeah.
We do have one family member that went to PHS, so
well,
the whole family went to Muir.
I have 4 kids, and 2 went to HS, and 2 went to, well, 1 went to Muir, 1 went to Monrovia. So that person gets a little bit of a pass. But tell me something. You said you went to here. Have you ever heard the stories of McWilliott?
No.
Okay, so there was 1 year. We're having our 45th year anniversary of McWilliott. There was only 1 year, and that's when we went. It was 79, and we promoted after 8th grade. It was 8th grade only 1 year, because what they did, they pushed 7th back to elementary. So people were at Altadena, Loma Alta, all of that. And 9th through 12th was at, the high schools, because what they did for a minute was made junior high, which they call middle school now, 7th, 8th, and 9th. And they were trying all this different stuff. So 1 year, they closed down Wilson and McKinley and brought everybody to our school, to Elliott, from, where they lived. And it was called, we called it McWilliott, right? Not Pasadena Unified called it Elliott, but we called it McWilliott.
Wow.
And so it's such a unique time. So this year in July at Brookside, I think it is, we are having I think it's our 45th year anniversary celebration of McWilliott, because that's the only year ever it was just 8th grade. Nothing else. Then they switched it back and put those schools back. They were like, oh no, we can't have all y'all together on one campus. From all over.
Oh man, I didn't know that. Thank you for letting me know.
And that class is also the last class that graduated in the Rose Bowl in 83.
Wow.
Because we were terror. And after 83, they were like, no more. Because we started stuff on fire. Like every year you had to outdo each other. Because PHS was over here on the far east side. Muir was in the middle. No, Blair was in the middle. They tried to separate us. And then Muir. And so every year it was blow up the, beach balls and this and that. And our year, we had like firecrackers and newspaper, and some got set on fire. And so they were like, that's it. Y'all messed up. Everybody got to go to the Civic Center or their high schools or whatever. No more Rose Bowl graduation. So between 2009, the 8th grade in 79 and 83, when we graduated high school, Pasadena Unified was sick of us.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't know about the history. I didn't know about any of that. So thank you. I had no idea. Where you went,
but Elliott, which is a fabulous school. So yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's all good.
And a Mustang.
Okay. No, I went to Muir, graduated. My senior year, I was I'm very much into art, but my senior year, I really started looking into architecture, and ended up attending Woodbury University. And what was hilarious about attending Woodbury University is whenever I still lived in Altadena the whole time, but I would tell friends like, yeah, I go to Woodbury University. They're like, there's a university on Woodbury? I'm like, no.
On Woodbury, they literally thought, no.
So we would tell people, it's me and my good friend, since she's in Altadena too, we both attended, and it's like that's like the running joke amongst our circle of friends. Yeah, Camille and they go to Woodbury University on Woodbury out here. I'm like, no, it's but they have an excellent architectural program. Went there, graduated with my bachelor's, and right after that, jumped straight into working for Parsons Corporation over on Walnut. Yeah, so I worked there for almost 10 years.
Awesome.
Just doing all the designs I can get into. Started off doing amusement parks and military housing, and then doing everything. So I worked on some container building, so I know about the container construction, and just really I learned really quick that I like to be outside. I'll sit on the computer for so long, I'll do so much talking, then it's like, all right, let's go outside. Let's do this.
Nothing like outside. I love outside.
So that's me.
So you're an architect by trade.
I am. So here's the thing. I am not a licensed architect. I have no problem putting that out there. If somebody kind of hesitates, that's kind of a red flag. So that was one of the first things I was educating about. Oh, to kind of add on, I do what I do for my 9 to 5. I get to go outside, but that doesn't mean I've seen all of my projects. So
Okay.
on the side for years, I was just doing houses on the side. I've done a few in Altadena, some in Pasadena, Culver City, LA County. So on my spare time, I just genuinely love to design. And my first project was my childhood home over there by Loma Alta. So we redid the front, but that was when I first learned, for residential design, like, cause I was scared. My mom was like, "You're going to build on this house." And I said, "But I don't have my license. I don't have this." She's like, "I'm not going to sue you." No,
look, it's nothing like a mama. A mama's going to push you, and a black mama. We're going to push you and be like, and did it. So yes, I understand.
But no, I learned off the bat for residential design, I didn't have to, the architect didn't have, the person doing the drawings for the architectural work did not have to be licensed. But in order to get your building permit, you had to have a licensed structural engineer. There's certain things you have to have in place. So I did the drawings. I drew it up how I wanted. Because I've been at the time been working for 2 years. I was still a newbie. So I would go to work and show the engineers my drawings all proud, like, look what I did. Da, da, da. And they'd have some comments and stuff. And I ended up, my cubicle neighbor at Parsons, I ended up bringing him. He gave me his services for free. He said, "Hey, I'll stamp this for you."
That's
awesome. You're gonna need. So that's when I learned. He's like, you can do residential design, but you got to get it stamped. And of course, when I submitted, they asked for all those things. So it's not like I could just walk in there and come out with a permit. So I've been educating the community. Not that I want them to go and get unlicensed architects. I would prefer that you do, because there's just some safety with that. I'm not a licensed architect. That's why I call myself an architectural designer.
Right.
I can do the designs. I know all the codes, but that just means I have to take my drawings to a licensed professional and get them vetted. So I have my team.
A lot of builders do, right? Builders, some are designers, and they'll use AutoCAD or CAD or whatever programs there are. They'll create the entire design, and then they'll have someone like what you said, an architect and or a structural engineer or both on their staff who review it and are able to stamp it. So when it goes to permitting, they know that it's architecturally sound and structurally sound.
Exactly. Okay. So I do the same thing, but because this was for fun. And honestly, after I retire and I'm wrinkly and gray, I'm just trying to just help people out. So I might get my license then.
Hold on. You said wrinkly and gray, baby. But I'm not wrinkly. And you saw Brian, so don't be on the gray.
Hey, I have grays in here too, but
it's talking about wrinkly and gray. Just because you got gray, and I love my gray, by the way, don't mean you're wrinkly. So
no, but when I'm done doing the 9 to 5, and because I can't see. My husband learned real quick. I'm hard. I don't sit still. I'm always outside doing something. So I need to have my license by then for sure. And I just want to be able to help people with whatever that is, So I know I want to have my license by then. But until then, I'm just trying to make sure that the residents get the help they need. As you guys saw, I'm Altadena through and through. My mom's house I was building on during COVID of all times. In 2021, there's a transformer that blew up in her yard, and she was stressing out. And I was like, "Okay, Mom, I did this design for the back of the house. We could just do it, the transformer had knocked out all the electricity of the back half of the house, and that's where the design was. I was like, I already did the front, let's do the back. And it's funny how things switch, right? Because when we first worked on the house, she's like, "You gonna do this house?" Da, 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 da. Yeah. And then me is the flip side. It's like, "Okay, come on, let's do the back."
Well, that whole transition of us as the parents when we're when we're little, our parents parent us, and when they get older, we have to assist them. I won't say we parent them, because if you got parents like mine, you're not parenting them, and you're only going to assist when they allow. But over time, baby. But over time, yes, you have to assist or whatever. And I think it's just such a great opportunity for us, right? To have been the children, and now we get to help our parents because our entire life.
Like how it's crazy. I've been amazed by so many things, and I'm gonna try to stay on track here because I have just genuinely a good time talking to you. But yeah, I started working on the house on Mother's Day of 2024. We finally got the permit. See that gap there, 2021, 2024. That's the permit process was hard, especially during COVID. Yeah. So we started building on Mother's Day 2024, and we finished on January 5th, 2025. And we enjoyed the house I remember the day, January 7th, my daughter still goes to preschool out there. So I was going to go pick her up. It was really windy. And I remember my mom saying, yeah, they just finished the paint. They put up the lights and it looks so good. And I was like, oh, okay, I want to come by the house. I want to see it, She had sent me a couple of videos and she's like, nah, just get home because it was late. She's like, it's real windy out here. Just get the baby out of here because we get winds all the time.
Right.
I was more worried, like, Mom, they're going to turn off the power and stuff.
Right.
And she has asthma. I was like, you might want to get out of there because it's, you know how it gets in Altadena. Kind of, that was the conversation. Not knowing.
Wait, Loma Alta and what?
Oh, she's right by Loma Alta. So she's Loma Alta Drive and Thurin right there. Yep. So there's Dabney.
No, I know exactly where it was. My sister used to live right there on Thurin and Loma Alta.
Yeah.
Like 3 houses down. But wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was trying to get over there, and she was like, "No, get the baby home. You'll see it this weekend." My contractor at the time, he still had his stuff there. Like we literally just finished. I think a week after we were going to get the final occupancy certificate of occupancy is what they call it, and so. Right. Yeah, I never got to see it in person, the final thing. But
so
my mom got to enjoy it for like 2 days because they really had finished on the 5th.
I am so sorry, Camille. Are you redesigning or have you redesigned or since you just finished and hadn't had the certificate of occupancy, your permits, I think, are still in effect.
They're still open today.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're still open. So, like I said, Action Altadena started because I had neighbors hit me up because they saw all the work we were doing in my mom's house. Yeah. My friends I graduated with, because I'm Altadena all day, people were hitting me up. Oh, I know you did so-and-so. Can you do that? So I was being overwhelmed. And so I put together kind of a video through my phone. I was just like telling people, hey, get screenshots off of Google. Because I know how Google works as someone who works in the field. Like sometimes when you can't get to a site, you use Street View a lot and try to gather information. I was like, I know how fast those change. I was like, go to Google, get your screenshot of the front of your house. If you want to rebuild it, that will help us understand what was there before. Yeah. Snapshot everything you can. Then I said, the other thing I didn't hear a lot of people talking about was I was like, go get your blanks. Because in order to, when I was trying to get my permit from my mother's house that I just finished, only the owners can get the blanks at the time. I don't know if they've changed that, but I was telling people, I said, go get your blanks, go to the county, get your blanks, get the screenshots, is like putting it out there. Mm-hmm. And started calling people. I called the structural engineer I worked with on my house. Hey, you think you can, do you have the capacity to take on some houses? And calling, all kinds of people. I was also on the board of the LA chapter for the National Organization of Minority Architects. So NOMA, a lot of people know NOMA. Steve Lewis is an Altadena resident. Prominent figure, Charles Bryant,
right. And Janelle.
Reached out to my people at NOMA and trying to see what they're doing and just everywhere. And it kind of just organically came together. Erica Alexis just hit me up out of nowhere. I like your video. Let's link up.
Good.
Me, her, and a team of people, we formed Action Altadena. I'm the founder. And it's essentially a grassroots organization where we're just trying to make sure the professionals have the information first. It's almost like I could call it a huddle. We huddle together, meet, we vet other contractors. The directory I started was just literally just trying to help my neighbors out. Like, okay, I have a structural engineer, I know a surveyor, I know this, and here's a landscape person, and just trying to put an online directory together. So that's how Action Altadena was born. And then I came across all these wonderful people who are doing work. And what I learned.
Isn't it amazing how many wonderful Altadenians are in industries that are rebuilding us, and how everybody's connecting and saying, hey, here's this person. And then, because everybody's panicked about outsiders buying the lots.
Oh, yeah. She did. I think she did freeze. Oh no. We were just getting into it too.
She wanted to show you how she could just freeze frame like that. Remember that mannequin challenge?
Right. Okay. There it is. We're back.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, you
I
were
was
saying
like-
how people are getting together, how the people of Altadena are coming up.
Yeah, I love that we are finding out all the Altadenians that are either contractors, builders, architects, designers, and then all the artists and all the people that
yes.
you don't know, but then we're finding out like, oh, this person lives right here. 20 people that work for Disney live in
Yeah.
Altadena.
Right.
You know, like
right.
this is bananas.
Yeah, and it's interesting because even like I said, I worked at Parsons, and I know a lot of people from Disney came over. A lot of engineers came from I think it's over by Glendale. You see in the building, and some of them have transitioned over to working at the Pasadena office. And so I know about that connect with Disney and stuff. And those engineers are amazing, and they have some talent too. But there's so much. Like some people don't even know Ryan Hollins is from. He went to Mirror. Like he's out here too. So a lot of talent from Altadena. We all I just started reaching out to folks and trying to get people together. I was focusing mainly on the building community, so we can try to assist the community as best as possible. And these are people I've worked with, so I trusted it the most. And then with the help of Erica, and oh gosh, the story with Golden Coast is quite hilarious. I was just telling you guys about. My brother-in-law works for Golden Coast Construction, but it's one of those when their family, you don't talk about work, I didn't know that he worked for a fire restoration construction company. He specializes in it. And so he just called my mom. It was just, oh, is everybody okay kind of thing, and just checking in. And he came down, he brought his people, and that's why I partnered up with Golden Coast as well, because they've actually taught me a lot. And behind the scenes, they've been trying to help other contractors as well with just things they're going to deal with insurance companies, because that's the biggest challenge with rebuilds after a fire is trying to get the money from those insurance companies, dealing with the banks and them trying to send people out, and it's crazy. So we've just been really trying to tackle the issues, and that's essentially why we do the fairs. I'll talk about the fair whenever you're ready, but we're trying to bring those people to our events so that people can come up and just, hey, look, I'm dealing with this. I don't know where to go, or actually I had this contractor, but I want to do this now, and he says we need that. It's more of an inspirational, motivational, and informative event. And then, of course, you have some food, music, and snacks. My personality, it's got to be fun. So I like people to have a good time.
And you know what? Depending on when it is, we'll probably show up, or someone may come and film for you.
I would love to have you guys involved. You guys are awesome. Yeah. I'll talk to you some stuff outside of this that I have some ideas.
Okay. Because we like to engage and go to as much as we can, and then do recaps on it here, right? Because you're talking about it here, and we need to show people what's actually going on. So let's talk about that even after.
Okay.
So let's talk about the fair and all that now. Let's go to the links. I'm sorry.
No problem. We've actually been planning on this for I think 2 months already, since December, November-ish. So it's called we've changed the name. The first two were called the Action Altadena Rebuild Fair, and then the second one, the first one was Action Altadena Rebuild Fair. Second one was Action Altadena and Rebuild Altadena. We collaborated. I'm teamed up with David Lee from Rebuild Altadena. He's awesome. So he collaborated with us. He brought his team. We put on the second fair at Victory Park. We loved Victory Park so much. We're going to do it again. And we're calling it, the slogan is kind of evolved to get the 411 on 411. So on April 11th, we'll be there. from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you visit www.actionaltadena.com, we will have a link there for any professionals who would like to have a booth at our event.
Okay.
What I will say though, when you sign up, it's not just you just automatically go in. So what we're doing with the professionals is we will be interviewing, checking in on their work, getting vetting some of the screening for the licensure and things like that. Of course, it's on. We have to have anyone who. What I want to say is like we will do the basic work of just making sure that these people are legit and just try to put them in front of guests who would, go further. You have to, I always tell residents to still be sure that this is the right professional for you. Everyone has different needs. I wouldn't go to someone who specializes in Spanish style and they only do, and I look at their portfolio and it's all modern work. So we want to have a good variety of professionals there. So this third fair is particularly unique because with the second fair, I learned that it's important that we collaborate with other organizations. So we are in talks with a few to collaborate with on this event, just so that the community isn't overwhelmed. I know that there's like 2 or 3 other Rebuild fairs. I know there's one at the Pasadena Convention Center. That is fine. I want people to go to as many as they want, but I want this event in particular to be the one where you can come and meet everybody. I'm really trying to collaborate with anyone who's willing to, has like-minded goals, right? So as you know, Rebuild Altadena, he started off the same way I did. He's an architect, and his house burned down, and he ran out and got his friends. So that's why we linked up. But there's others out there like us, So I want those organizations to come and join us for this event. So that's the goal.
One thing that we learned in our vetting process, bringing builders and other people on, people say one thing and they're not who they say they are. Yeah. And me, so when I vet, I'm going to have a conversation on the phone with someone. I'm going to get a feel for them, all of that. I'm going to look at their website. Then I'm going to go to the state license board, the CSLB, Contractor State License Board. I'm going to verify their license number that they gave me, that they are who they say they are, because someone will say, oh yeah, I'm the owner of the company, but it's in someone else's name. So you're not a GC and you're nowhere on here. Also, you can verify their bond company and amount on the CSLB, but then you can call the company to verify that bond, which I do. I also call their insurance and find out how much they have for insurance and if it's active or not. And then I go a step further, honey, because I'm going to look up everything possible. I'm going to Google you. I'm going to look up your LinkedIn. I'm going to look up your Facebook, your IG, all of that. Because if you tell me, this is an example, you're Black-owned GC, you own your company. But on the website, you're nowhere on it.
Right.
And the contractor's license is not in your name. It's in somebody that lives in Orange County who's Korean or something. And I looked up all of you, and the ones that are on the website, but you told me you were the owner of, are like MAGA people and all of that. You've done a bunch of lying to me. You're not coming on my show, right? And usually I've done it before I've even had too much interaction with you. And so by the time we have the conversation, I'm already going to know. And I'm going to ask you and quiz you on some of that stuff. And when you get fumbled or whatever, no, you're not coming on. Because I do not want anyone in Altadena that does not have our best interests at heart, that does not care for us, that does not, because there are scammers, there are GCs that have said, oh, let's go to Altadena and make a bunch of money. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to jump in because it's you have to vet everyone. So everyone. I know the focus is on contractors. They're the easiest target. And honestly, I kind of feel for them because they have a steeper hill to climb, because there's so many bad apples out there. But I will say, as far as the architectural design side, right? So unfortunately, as you know, I team up with Golden Coast Construction quite often. They host these wonderful events called, they host a dinner usually it's at Pinocchio's or a local restaurant in Altadena. So it's a double whammy. They're trying to support business and then have residents and come through. So I've been to a few, and there's a resident there, and I felt so bad for her because it was her mom, and she had gotten an architect who was charging $70,000 for a floor plan.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh, please tell her not to do that. It should not be $70,000 for one drawing.
Or 40.
Yeah, and it broke my heart because I'm an architectural designer, and I'm just like, no, don't do that to us.
Do that, right?
And you got to watch all of them, and that's exactly why I started the directory, to be honest, because these are people I've worked with. Of course, it's grown, and so now, like you said, I'm having to go and vet. I would take it even a step further, though, Toni. What I do, with my team, we've had discussions about this, and David was in the meeting. I had some representatives from Golden Coast, all facets, engineers, designers, whatever, developer. As you know, Erica is she's a smaller developer, but we huddled together. There's one of our huddles, and one of the things we definitely want to do is ask for your portfolio. We need pictures. You know, you've done the work, but sometimes we need to see the quality, because that you can't really get from, just something on the website. And then if you have any references, so those are the other two. I think the customer is ultimately going to help you, win more work. You do quality work that you're not going to get from the resume. Oh man, they came on time. They cleaned up. They told me everything they were doing for the day. They did this, So that's the kind of feedback we're trying to do. Make sure that the professionals we're trying to get to the people are just top tier. Another thing we discussed is, if we can, we want to definitely showcase the people who have work in Altadena. We want to put them at the top of the cake. These are the ones that are here. The problem is the good ones get at capacity, that are local. So we just want to make sure we have a good round out of professionals who can help everyone. So, and again, different styles. Some people are better at, I know Foothill Catalog has some designs out there really good with the James cottages. There's people who are trying to keep the look of Altadena. Then there's some people that are like, nah, man, I just want my house back.
No, wait a minute. I thought the James cottages are Altadena Collective.
Oh, Altadena Collective. I'm sorry.
Foothill Catalog is not them.
No. So Altadena Collective. I apologize.
Yes. No, it's okay. So you've probably seen this, and Brian and then be like, oh my God, that I am like super literal. And I always just try my best to be accurate about everything. So that's why my face started contorting, like, wait a minute. Hold up.
Sorry.
No, because I just want to make sure, because a lot of times, like they watch. And I want to make sure that we say, right, there's Action Altadena over here doing this. There's Rebuild Altadena, because Dave's an architect and he started that. There's Altadena Collective, because they lost their James cottages and wanted them, some of them. And same thing, are architects or builders or whatever. So they started that. And then there's Genesis Builders. One of their people living in Altadena lost her house, and she was. So there's a lot. But again, it goes back to, we had no clue that all of these type of people and industry people lived in Altadena. And so now they are helping themselves and others to be able to rebuild and be back in our wonderful town. So that's awesome. And then
because I've worked with Altadena Collective. They're awesome. They've come to all of our events. They're very supportive. So
and then Foothill Catalog has theirs that are pre-approved by the county. And so there's so many, and everybody doing such amazing work. And they're now called the Foothill Catalog Foundation. I just put up their website.
Oh, wow.
Right, which tells me they've created a foundation and maybe are doing some philanthropic stuff too. I don't know, but they're now the Foothill Catalog. It's still under foothillcatalog.org, but now it is Foothill Catalog Foundation. So yes, they have theirs as well. Some of them have limitations because I talk to them, and these ones that are pre-approved for people that just want to hurry up, don't have a lot of money, get back, those may work. But on those, you can't modify. Like
exactly, I was going to get into that. Yep.
Yeah, you can't move a door or window because it's pre-approved. You can't move.
What it is what you get. And then the other thing I want to tell people about the pre-approved plans, you also have to still get that design to fit at your site. So you will still need to get a surveyor, get the site information. Then if there is some designs, and I'm just speaking with a wide brush because I haven't looked, I'll be honest and transparent, I haven't looked into that process in particular, but off the bat you want to make sure that there's a structural engineer to plant that thing into your lot, make sure it fits, make sure there's no easements and all the setbacks and all of those code things are met. So it's great for just having something that the county, as far as the design and the heights and the sizing of it will work, but to get it to actually plug in, there's still a couple of steps that you have to do. But it does help, but there are some people, like I know in my area, that's why at the beginning I was telling people, get your Google screenshot. Now there's a way, I did another video on Action Altadena on how you can go back in time and still get that screenshot of the front of your house.
All you got to do is put, give me a 2024 image of, and put that address in, and it's going to bring back that one, or 23 or whatever.
Oh, I didn't know about that. I just know there's a little button. There's a button on the,
Yes, but if you I'll try or whatever prior to the fire, be like, give me a 2024 image, because they have all of it. It's data that they're not going to get rid of. And so you can ask for a 24 or 23 Google image of, and your address, and it's going to show what they did at that time. Yeah.
So you put me on this stuff. I came here and got some information.
That's what it's about, helping one another and giving one another. Right?
For sure. Yeah. So so just to circle back to vetting, man, it's across the board. You should, I will say, every house, the reason why there's not a dedicated price line for everything is because everyone's property is different. Everyone's in different zones. Everyone has different needs. It's like trying to prescribe the same medicine to everybody. Everybody's body is different. But I will say, just off the top, a floor plan should not cost you $70,000 unless you are trying to build, I don't know what.
But you know what, Camille, the shadiest part about that is some architects have said, oh, it's going to cost $60,000, but then have withheld the plans once they created them for payment of just the plans separate. And one that I was not happy about is, the mid-century modern, the African-American guy. Girl, I met his grandson and I was like, so how much would 4 plans be? Just finding out, because I wanted to see if he wanted to come on the show or whatever. $400 a square foot. And I said, wait a minute. So a house that is 1,000 square foot? He said, yeah. I said, a 1,500 square foot house, you're going to charge $400. He said, for his grandfather's plans, because of who he was. I said, you're not going to get a whole lot of that. People biting. That's way too much, because it makes no sense. Granted, that's the name, right? But $600,000 for plans for a 1,500 square foot house. People don't have. Some people don't
haven't even started building yet. That's just for the design.
Plans. I was like, boy. I said, okay, thank you. No. I was like, he's not gonna get people. And you got to remind me of who his name is. I forget, but prolific designer of mid-century modern homes all throughout LA, Hollywood, everywhere. There's some up here. And the grandson has all the plans, and
was a Black architect.
Yeah. And was offering them to both whomever, Altadena, Palisades, whoever, after the fires. But the plans are $400 a square foot. I literally was like, $600,000 for 1,500 for the plans for a 1,500 square foot house. They need that to build the house back. So you telling me and that's not permitting and all the other fees that come with it, the surveyor and all that.
Yeah, it's and then that's another thing that has changed. And I think that's kind of what I've been bringing to the table. I hope, because I had just finished building my house 2 days before the fire, and that permitting process and comparing it. Even my mom has been like, oh, well, 3 days, 4 months, and compared to 3 years to try to get But anyway, I've seen the improvements. I think that, yes, of course, there's some improvements that could be made, but it's really nice that the benefit I really feel just
Paul Williams.
Yeah, Paul Williams. Okay, I
Paul
thought
Williams.
so.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, the
grandson
thing
is
is,
offering his plans for 400 a square foot.
oh my God.
I was like, boy, go somewhere. But anyway,
wait, so yeah. But yeah, the permitting process is improved. There's some areas that can use some work, but what I was going to say is the benefit is there's so much work happening. There's so many architects out here. I can actually call people up and go, hey, did you go through da? And we can ping pong information and get things done quicker. Whereas in 2023, when I was by myself, it was
it was a nightmare.
I was taking days off of work to drive over there, and then during COVID, I'm sitting here. So where
And you know what? I really hope that in 2, 5, 7 years, because there's about 200 houses going up in Altadena right now. It's not going to take the 10 years that they said for us to rebuild our community. So the bulk of the homes will be there, then the commercial stuff will happen. But my hope is that once it's more settled and more of us are home and our commercials home or whatever, even if that is 7 to 10 years from now where we're back, right? My hope is that they don't change the permitting process. If this is what works, granted, some things are fast tracked. There were some executive orders came out, whatever. But if this is what worked, because you needed to hire more people or do what you got to do, county, we should not go backwards to 2, 3, and 4 years for somebody to do it.
But I keep saying COVID because it was a trying time. I can't fully blame them for that. They were trying to move stuff digital, and then this up, it was a challenge. But yeah, no, I've seen some of the work that they're doing, and it's so nice. But for people who have never rebuilt before, they're just like, why can't I just send this in? They just send me an email back, say here's your. No, it's a whole process.
That's cute.
It's a whole thing, and I'll give kudos to NOMA for putting it out there. They have this wonderful packet of what it is to be an architect, so that some residents who genuinely don't know and want to learn more, they can go and visit them and figure out I have to do okay, why do I need an architect? Why can't I just go and get a contractor and just build it up? Well, your contractor is going to ask you for some drawings and then
for some plans, right?
Yeah, or they'll go, and sometimes I've seen one scenario where they've gone out and got a structural engineer first, and then the structural engineer's like, well, where's your design? I'm the person who makes it happen. Right. So architect, get your ideas out of your head and onto paper. We figure out the fire codes. We put all that stuff in there. We look at setbacks and the sitting in the lot. But even us, sometimes in some cases, before we even get started, sometimes we need to reach out to a surveyor. Surveyor's going to tell us about the property and things to look out for, what's there. So sometimes that happens. I've been telling at least all my clients to just go ahead and get a surveyor, because it may come up during the construction process when the inspector comes out, and if you don't have that, you'll
need it. Yeah,
it's going to be a pain in the butt. So
and a lot of builders include in their pricing these one-stop shops, their surveyor in it, right? So it just depends, like you said, on each individual, what they want to do or would like to do or whatever, and who they go with. But I think the thing that we both keep saying, the most important thing is vet.
Oh, yes. Please. And if you can use Action Altadena as a resource, great. We're the starting point. We're trying to make sure you have a basis, So if you find an architect through our site and they go, I want to work with this person, and then you call them up, then vet even further. This is the kind of house I want, I want your pricing, because sometimes after you get the pricing, you're like, ooh, no, that's not going to work. So yeah.
So hold on for a second, Camille, because I see them popping people up, and I do want to take just a quick commercial break just to say hello. Rebuilding California. Good morning. Hello. Thank you for joining. Dr. Sims, that's Will Sims. He should be on here next week. I got to send him an email. He is now the executive director of the Legacy Land Project. So I want him to break it down, tell us all about that and what they're doing.
Yeah.
Gosoto, is it Gosoto Media? Has joined. I saw you guys popping people up, and then now they stopped. Maybe that was too late. There's people, Corey, that said she could build a 1,500 square foot on the top of her head. We were talking about the pricing. Claudia, I don't know Claudia McLean Flowers, but talking about Thumbtack, Yelp. Thumbtack is not going to necessarily be the best, I think, for reviews. They're going to look for handyman type or people that can do the work. But Yelp, yes, you can look for reviews there. You can look under Google. They have Google reviews. Stacy J, hello. Good morning. Thank you for tuning in today. Kijana Owens, Dina Love. Hey there, Kijana. Thank you for tuning in. The classic Ash. Nishan was on earlier. Don't know if Nishan is still on. And then a photo, hello. Because Nishan actually said at the beginning, started stuff on fire, LOL. Yeah, we did, Nishan. Class of 83.
She's talking about the earlier comment. Oh, that's funny.
Right. And then this one says, I think I met Camille at E281 around Christmas and had a conversation about her assisting the community. So yeah, it's great. Nishan has been out here for a minute. He was like, I'm coming in from New York, coming in hot because, grew up here and all that. Had a great event a few weeks ago under the stars at the library, which was really good. It's just, like I said, amazing how we've got so much, and I'll say extreme talent in Altadena.
Yes.
Everybody has an amazing gift or talent, and everyone is using it and kind of staying in their lane. Because when you cross over into somebody else's name, they're going to let you know. But, really utilizing it for our community, and nice to meet new people all the time. New meaning I don't know you, not necessarily new to Altadena, but there are some also. But super, super cool to meet and see people. Marcus Betts says, good morning, Toni and Camille. Hello there, Marcus. And then Claudia says, wait, right time Rooter. I guess that's for advertising. I don't know. Or maybe Claudia's with Right Time Router. I don't know. But anyway, there's a comment that says, when you say who the contractor was and their reviews,
maybe
I'm not sure letting us know someone or not, but and we're not on here to bash anyone. What we would do. Oh, she's saying going to Yelp or whatever, right? And Corey says use the online resources to check insurance license because they will be funny and give you. Well, yeah, that's what we already talked about.
I got another one to throw in there too. So I learned this actually working just what I do day to day to pay the bills. But what the corporate people do is they even check to make sure your license isn't up for expiration. So say you
that's right,
find a contractor and they are licensed, but only until the next month.
Right.
They've had it for a while, but they, when you see the expiration date, it's like, oh, so
that's part of vetting. When I go,
you gonna renew that,
right? When I go to the CSLB, that's the stuff I look at, because if you look at the whole thing, you see who the owner is, where they're from, or where they live, what county, what city, whatever. You see their license number. You see if it's active. You can find out if there's been complaints, even on the CSLB. You can see when it was made active or renewed, and if it's about to expire. They also have on their bond, if it's a $25,000 bond, and who it's with. So I'll write that down, and then I'll call the company to verify. I ask them when I'm vetting, and who do you have? Is your insurance 1 million or 2 million? Some have up to 5 million, right? But there's a threshold that you have to have, and then I'll call the company to verify that insurance as well. So when I vet, I'm dead serious. I'm vetting. And then
this is your
reviews. You gotta sometimes say, well, do you have some customers that we can talk to or whatever? Because even with the portfolio and pictures, sometimes they slide pictures in that are not theirs.
It's more about just trying to get familiar with the style. Because sometimes, again, I just want to make sure people have as best as match as possible. So like I said, it's more so about style and taste.
And I think that's great. So I know that we're like 10 minutes away from 11. Do you have any, other than us bringing back up this event, any other takeaways or whatever that you'd like
I'll
to
start
talk
with
about?
that. So, 3 things with this event. So, for the homeowners and residents looking to rebuild, this is an opportunity for you to meet me as well as everyone I've teamed up with, other organizations, like-minded organizations that we're trying to team up with. Our top 3 matters we're trying to tackle with the Altadena Build Together Fair is trust, right? So we want to have trusted professionals there that specialize in the rebuilding process. So you see, I'm talking about contractors, designers, architects, engineers. And then the second pillar is financial, right? I want people there that are going to be able to assist the community with funding, if they have opportunities for grants and things like that. I want those people will be there. So if you're looking for that, we're planning for that at the fair. And then the third thing, there are people with homes still standing, right? Yeah. So we're also going to, the third matter is materials. So they may be looking, oh, well, my house made it and I need to harden it. I want to make sure I'm okay. So there'll be products and things there that could protect that, what's there. And if you're looking to freshen up and harden the home, that will be there. So 3 things: trusted, rebuilding professionals, funding, and then products, materials. So those are the 3 items.
I'm glad you brought that up about home hardening, even for people who didn't lose their home in the fire, even for people that are not in that fire area. If you're not in
that part,
but outside, because not only California, but all over the place, insurance companies are trying to get out of their obligation to pay for people's damages when there is a natural disaster, whether it's an earthquake, whether it's a fire, flood, hurricane, tornado. We see it all over this country. If they want to bring in big dollars and enrich themselves off of us, right, as the consumer, but when it comes time for a claim, they want to either drop you or not pay the claim out. So one of the benefits of home hardening, especially in a place that is now considered an extreme fire zone or, whatever, or a fire zone, and if you live in a mountainous area like the San Gabriel Valley, if you're in La Cañada, Glendale, Laverne, Azusa, whatever, or you know somebody that lives there, introduce them to this fair maybe, because if you get your home hardened, if you have a zero zone area, because insurance companies now don't send inspectors out, they use drones. They fly over your home and they say, oh, we saw this 5 feet away or whatever, something combustible, we're going to drop you. Literally, they say, oh, we see on your roof a lot of the leaves piled up, or whatever, we're going to drop you. Don't give them any opportunity, even if you got to get on a ladder or know somebody that can get up there with the blower, blow off or hose off your roof every, year, every 6 months, whatever. Find the little things, talk to these professionals to say, what can I do? There's siding. If your house is wood or not stucco, you can repaint it and then have this fire resistant paint and stuccoing. You can do new siding that's fire resistant. I met somebody that has a whole entire clear coat that you can put.
Oh, wow.
They're out in Palm Springs, but they have a whole clear coat that they can put over your painting, and it makes your house fireproof.
That's awesome. I need to get them at the fair then. Give me theirs.
Okay, I will. I'll look their email up and I'll get that to you. But the thing about that is, if you take those steps, right, then you're less likely to have your insurance company say, oh, we're going to drop you. And people can only now get the fair plan. Extreme climate change is going to continue to happen because we are human beings. I remember my father is a retired engineer, but he worked for Southern California Air Quality Management District. His for 32 years, his job was to go out and find all the refineries that put the pollutants in the air. When you were born, we would look down from where I grew up, up lake, and you would see a brown cloud, and it was smog. I couldn't hardly breathe. I had asthma, all this. We don't have that like that now because of the work that my dad and others did. But on top of that, he used to talk to us all the time about the ozone layer. And no, we can't use this kind of spray. We can't do this because the ozone layer is opening up. We're going to have extreme weather events, in the future if we don't get better at protecting our environment. So that's what I grew up knowing and hearing. And to see it actually happening today, and people are like, well, how can we fix this? So now we can't fix the ozone layer, but we can try to do things to help and protect our environment as much as possible. And then what we can do around our own homes so that your home is safer and your insurance won't skyrocket when they want to raise rates or you may not get dropped. So super important. I'm glad you said that that's the third pillar and these people will be there because people need to know.
People need to know. And then the other thing is, if you are a professional or organization listening and want to, we're 2 months away. So we're actively interviewing other organizations and professionals who want to team up. Again, this is the Altadena Build Together Fair. We want to build together. We want to collaborate. So if you're interested, on www.actionaltadena.com, there will be a link for professionals who want to sign up, and participate in the event. And then for the homeowners, I believe there's a QR code on the screen. That is the link to the Eventbrite if you want to reserve your spot and just to keep it on your calendar to come through. We're going to be there for 5 hours. So, whatever time you can come, and you can bring the whole family. We plan to have stuff for the kids, stuff to eat, and then have all the professionals there. So, and then you'll catch me at other events too. Up until then, like I said, this is 2 months away. I've teamed up with, I don't know if anyone knows Cynthia Martin, but she's actually hosting a wonderful event. I'll be there on the 15th, this Sunday. She's hosting events specifically for residents who have disabilities, for veterans, for the community that needs a special type of bill to accommodate their physical needs. So she's hosting that on February 15th. I'll make sure that I get that to you guys.
No, we have it. We have it. Cynthia gave it to me. I sent it to Jamal the other day. It should be part of our announcements by now.
Oh, wonderful.
I'll be there. Start on Monday. And if not, I'll send it over to Jamal real quick. Again, I forwarded it. And then we normally don't post out 2 months out, but your flyer we do have. No, and we've spoken about it and we will keep them in. And let me tell you what was happening, Camille. We get this stuff and it would be months out and we would have it every day. We were going up to, I want to say almost 40 announcements in one day. And we were getting feedback anywhere between 25 and 40. We were getting feedback from people saying it's just too much, especially our elderly community. My mom was 83, right? My dad's 88. And my mom was like, it's too much, Toni. You guys are just doing everything and we can't write everything down. So what Jamal started doing, and it wasn't just my parents, but what Jamal started doing was saying, we're going to post or talk about in our announcements everything that's happening this upcoming weekend, right? And then some of them maybe 2 weeks out, but 2 months out, we hold on to, but we kind of put it in the rotation as it gets closer. So for yours, we have spoken about it today. We will incorporate it, but I don't know if it's going to be every day between now and 2 months.
That's okay. That's okay.
As we get closer, it will be daily, and it might be 2 weeks out, but we do it daily and have that QR code up for people to register because we want people to know. So I'm glad you came on and talked about it today because people are now aware and they can, see it, and we will continue to talk about it.
Well, that's wonderful. That's perfectly fine. That's why I was like, I know we're early. Like you can. That's why I had to hurry up and put stuff out because from last year, people were already like, "Hey, when are you gonna do another one?" And so I was like, "Let me put this together." But also too, so I'm going to be at the event on Sunday, and then I'm also hosting with Build Notes. If you are also a professional, again, Action Altadena is about preparing the professional. Every Monday, I've teamed up with another Jason Lee. It's not L-Y, it's L-E-E. David Lee. David Lee from Build Notes hosts a online orientation every Monday. So essentially, it's a software where professionals can potentially get leads. We already have 1,000 homeowners signed up on Build Notes. And if professionals want to join and it's an opportunity for us to collaborate. If we get enough professionals on there, eventually we can create our own master schedule. We'll know, where housing and things are and we can collaborate. But until then, this is an opportunity for professionals to get leads and for homeowners to actually check them out. So that's every Monday at 5 o'clock. I'm just online. It's a group call. You can find them on Eventbrite. So.
And Camille, just so you know, even though your event is far away, we will post it several times on our social media regularly, but we won't make the announcements until it gets a little closer.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I was like,
that's all I popped on for right now.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm just here to hang out and talk about what I do, and I'm just happy to be here. Thank you guys. You totally surprised me. Camille, when you coming? I'm like, what? Me? I'm just here to support.
No, ma'am. We want to know what you are doing because you've been out there doing the work, and making sure that Altadenians know. And like I said, I love it coming from an Altadenian, right? Because not that everybody that lives in Altadena is not an Altadenian, but you know what I mean when I say that. Like, we've been here a long time. People born and raised, been here since they were 1 or 2 or whatever. Yeah. And then people now who have just purchased in Altadena in the last 20 years, 30 years, 15 years, whatever, their children that are being born and raised here are real deal Altadenians, right? This is where they were born, and this will now be their history and legacy, passed down and stuff like that. So the fact that you were born there in 1983, and I had to think about, oh Lord, that's again when I graduated high school, but that's all good. But you've been here, you've been in the trenches from day one. You're still part of it, and now as part of the recovery, you're out here doing the work, and have been, because literally 2 days before the fire, they finished what you had just redone.
Man, that sucked. But again, like I try not to. It's like things happen for a reason, right? Like I had my drawings. I knew I was going to be good. I'm like, all right, well, I'm an architect, But looking around, I'm just like, oh, none of these people they don't. Let me try to. Oh my God, So that was literally the response.
I think that's kind of how so many started, with almost an oh my God type thing, because with Brian lost everything, and he was like, okay, what do I do? Oh my gosh, what do I do? Right? And started by going live, Facebook Live, to go get resources. Him and Jamal were talking. Jamal was like, you got to keep doing this, bro. Kept doing it. Then was like, it needs to be a podcast. Kept doing it.
This is beautiful. Brian, I love what you guys created here. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I check in when I can. I'm busy, but hey y'all, good job.
You did. Thank you. Yeah. So much started as oh my gosh, but from people that have lived in the town for a long, long time. Mm-hmm. Even people that have lived in the town a year or two are out there putting in the work, doing it, sharing the resources, helping, because our town is so unique and such a beautiful place to live, and everybody wants it to come back. So thank you, Camille, for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thanks, Brian. Thanks, Jamal. Thanks, Toni.
They'll pop back in. Come on, guys. Come back in. And
I came in earlier, but I didn't realize why I was coming in, because I saw Jamal come in. I was like, oh, I better get back in.
Get back in, both of you. Yeah. And so we appreciate
Thank you so much, Camille.
And looking forward to hearing more from Action Altadena and coming out on that day and going forward. So thank you.
Yeah. I hope we can collaborate. I'll talk
Definitely. Yeah. Well, have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we are going to take this time after she pops off to actually we'll just go now, but we'll segue into give it to Jamal for, first of all, Jamal and Brian, I know you said thank you. Did you have any comments or anything like that? And if not, we can go into the announcements.
That was a great show.
Yeah, I was impressed. I didn't know all that was happening with Action Altadena and all the things that they were actually doing. So it was really cool. And to hear more details about her, the event that's coming up in April. I had the flyer already. And like you had mentioned, so far in advance, I wasn't going to put it on the show, but it also didn't have a great deal of info initially. But now that we have the QR code and the Eventbrite link, I'll add that and we'll share that. That's really, really cool. And what was the event that's happening this weekend that you were saying you sent to me?
So that I sent you, that's something from Cynthia Martin. She's somebody that we partnered with in La Cañada a couple months ago, maybe in December. But
okay.
Let me look for it, because I did forward that email and had said, can you start this on Monday? And I thought you had it.
I have it.
I think so. And it goes to like Eventbrite, and I don't always tune directly in when you're doing announcements because I'm doing stuff in the background. Mm-hmm. But it's a honoring and celebrating. Last time she honored a bunch of community heroes. This time she wants to honor or celebrate veterans and disabled in Altadena, and then wants to make sure, I think people know resources for if you're building and need to have ADA compliant type builders or something to that effect. I know she had asked me, could I come? I cannot. And asked if my parents want to be honored because my dad's a veteran, but I know my dad doesn't want that. So, but anyway, it's Camille Martin. So you probably have that information. I will look for it just in case not.
Yeah, if you don't mind, just if you can send it again. It sounds familiar.
Absolutely, I'll get that right now.
Who's Camille Martin?
I'm sorry, Cynthia Martin. I combined Camille Hodge and Cynthia Martin's names just now. So thanks, Brian, for catching that. He said, "Who's Camille Martin?"
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
Cynthia Martin.
Right.
Oh yeah, I do have that one. The one where there's a gentleman who was 100 and another guy who was a 75, and they're trying to, Don and Jim Martin.
Yes.
Yeah, I have that.
Yeah, so Don Martin is her dad, the one who's 99 or 100, and the other one is her brother who is disabled. And they had to really get out of the fire with him and all that. So yes, that's exactly who.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna add this to the thing separately.
Okay.
Because I didn't have it in the slideshow. So before I do that, let me go ahead and bring that up real quick. Put it in the background.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Yeah. I think it's this one.
He said, yeah. Yep, that was it.
All right, let me remove this now. All right, cool. Well, I'll go ahead and do the announcements now, and here we go. So we're going to start after all of the county stuff. All that information is still the same with the Altadena Community Center and the One-Stop Permit Center. So we begin here with the Eden Health Village. They provide the free medical and mental health clinic every Monday and Wednesday from 12 to 5. It's at 1280 East Washington Boulevard in Pasadena. The telephone number to ask questions or to set up an appointment is 951-595-7032. And they also do accept walk-ins. And so definitely check this out. And as a reminder, the emergency rent relief applications are open. They opened on Monday. So what this is up to 6 months of past due rent relief, mortgage-related hardship assistance, or eligible utility costs covered. And it can amount to $15,000 per unit. Now, this is for tenants who can now apply directly. It's also for landlords who can still apply. And the website is lacounty.rentrelief.com. So go ahead and apply to this as soon as possible, as I'm sure the funds are going to dry up and there will be a deadline coming up pretty soon. So if you would like to participate in this, please go to lacountyrentrelief.com and apply right away. The Altadena Chamber of Commerce and Civic Association is now accepting applications through the deadline of the 16th of February, which is, Monday. So what this is a shop local $500 gift card open to all Altadena residents directly impacted by the Eaton fires. It's also open to previous applicants and awardees. And what it is, again, is a $500 gift card that can be used at participating stores only listed at shoplocal.la/recover-local. Now, in order to apply, you can scan the QR code to get to the application or go to altadenachamber.org. And then My Tribe Rise still has the Adopt a Survivor matching fund drive, where they're attempting to raise an additional $500,000 to reach their $1 million matching goal. What they're going to do with this money is to provide bridge funding for rent and mortgage relief for up to 50 families. So if you're able to contribute and donate, please do so by scanning the QR code on the screen. And then the Trauma Resource Institute is providing a wildfire recovery connection circle. It's a welcoming place to connect, practice skills for well-being, and be there for one another. It takes place today, beginning at 12 noon. It is a Zoom event, so you can scan the QR code on the screen or go to bit.ly/CC Winter 2026. Also today, as has been every Wednesday for quite some time, is the Juicy Little Finds Thrift Stores We Out Here Market. It happens every Wednesday from 12 to 3 p.m. at Fair Oaks Burger, the world famous Fair Oaks Burger at 2560 North Fair Oaks Avenue in Altadena. This is where you can get fresh produce and groceries, free smoothies, and much more. And it is exclusively for Altadena residents, so make sure you bring your IDs. They do also need donations as well as volunteers to keep this going. And if you would like additional information, please reach out to juicylittle.org.
We got you.
Also today is the free pop-up market from 12 until supplies last at the Lifeline Fellowship Christian Fellowship at 2556 North Lake Avenue in Altadena. They're also providing 100 free hot meals provided by El Patron Restaurant. Dina Grocery Distribution put on by Dina Rebuild and Restore. So it's a free community grocery distribution providing fresh, locally sourced produce at Harambe Ministries located at 1609 Navarro Avenue in Pasadena. And that goes, it happens today as well as the 25th of February from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then Janelle Ketcher is hosting a workshop called Writing Letters as a Tool for Grief, where participants will learn about the therapeutic qualities of letter writing and how it can be a powerful tool for processing grief. It's taking place today from 3:30 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. at the Bob Lucas Memorial Library, which is at 2659 Lincoln Avenue. And this is for adults 18 years or older. And you do have to register, so please scan the QR code in order to participate. And then tomorrow, there's actually going to be the Men's Healing Circle with Yancey Cummins and Mike De La Rocha. They're continuing their men's circle. It's going to be at the 300 East Colorado Boulevard, Suite 151 in Pasadena. That's the Paseo Outdoor Mall. Join them for Men's Healing Circle, where men can share, connect, and heal together. It's from 6 to 8 p.m. And to RSVP, please go to bit.ly/D as in Dina, H as in healing, -sacred -lessons. And then Juicy Little Society presents their annual Galentine Party. It is an all-girls party centered around self-love, sisterhood, and simply being a girl. This is it's free for impacted girls ages 7 to 21, taking place this Saturday, the 14th. You do have to RSVP. Once you RSVP, you will then be provided with the local address for where this event will take place. And some of the things you can expect to do there are scrapbooking and art, smoothies workshop, makeup and nail station, and special gifts, raffles, and much, much more. So please register for this if you're interested. And then the Altadena Walk Club is actually having their first walk this Sunday, February 15th. They want to gather at 9:30 at Unincorporated Coffee. It's a light walk with neighbors followed by coffee, and it's for all ages and fitness levels. So definitely check it out. Unincorporated Coffee is 3045 Lincoln Avenue in Altadena. And then next Wednesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. will be a Zoom event where you can talk about taxes and your recovery, several different topics, one of which is insurance proceeds and ALE, rebuilding versus buying, federal and California disaster tax rules, and much more. Please scan the QR code to register or go to efsurvivors.net/events. And then February 21st from 9 to 4, there's going to be a Stronger Together, a Solution Summit. It's a free family-friendly event uniting residents, builders, educators, and civic partners to rebuild smarter and stronger. It's taking place at the Pasadena Civic Center, and you can scan the QR code to get additional information. With that, I'm going to keep it short, and we're going to move on and bring Brian and Toni back. Another great show, Toni. Definitely appreciate you bringing these fine folks on to share the amazing information and things that they're doing for our town.
Definitely. Thank you. And I'm done.
Okay. All righty. Well,
I knew you guys would like that.
Before we go, of course, I have to bring up our happy camel because it is hump day and I need to find my camel. Where's the camel? There he is. I had to bring him up because I got to remove this first and then I got to remove this and then bring it back because it is hump day. This is for you, Marcus, and everybody who appreciates it. This is a little silliness every Wednesday we do, and we hope we bring a little joy to you in addition to that great information that Toni brought earlier today to help you through the rest of your week. Happy Wednesday. What's happening tomorrow, Toni?
I don't know because I'm not here. I think Brian is bringing someone on.
Yeah, I'm going to contact him today.
This week we had 2 days of Toni Talks back to back. Yesterday was Therapy Tuesday. Today was this show. Normally Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I've got lots of stuff to do tomorrow, so I will not be on this show.
Got you. All right.
So whatever you two decide, that's what's happening tomorrow.
Well, we will see what happens tomorrow. Please tune in for, as Brian would say, another exciting episode of Altadena Talks. But we will bid you adieu today.
Toodaloo.
Peace, y'all.